As the blood-red moon rises up and above the horizon, the sun runs away, saving itself from what's to come. Light yellowy mist can be seen patiently and eagerly stalking the almost scarlet coastline, hungrily anticipating the night. An almost unnatural chill blankets Milden, a dark and imposing castle with an eerie yet prideful appearance stands steadfastly looking out among its subjects. We zoom in on 3 ghostly figures carefully making their way over the drawbridge, protecting them from the inky red water's embrace. Closing the office, they are meeting in the Dire Arms, the pub in the middle of Milden, at around 7:30 to deliver a tour of haunted sites of Milden.
It's going to be a cold night. I hope people turn up this year, not like last year. I was stood on that corner of Abattoir Street for an hour and no one turned up.
Adrian, you were on my doorstep at 7:55 complaining, and I live at least 15 minutes away from Abattoir Road, even if you drive like you do. And then I get a phone call from poor Mrs. Blenkinsop, who was looking for you outside the tourist office.
Look, we talked about this last year. I couldn't do it after my heart attack.
A suspected heart attack, Martin.
Oh, all right, suspected heart attack, and you volunteered, Adrian. Anyway, this year I've persuaded the council to pay all of us so we can do it together.
Yeah, at standard rate. Last year I got double time.
You can get double time this year if you want to do it on your own again.
Come on, Aid. Don't be such a wet weekend. It'll be fun. At
least we're meeting inside the Dire Arms this year. If no one turns up, we can just sit in the pub while we're waiting. And if Mrs. Blenkinsop does turn up late again, she can find us in the pub. I'll even buy you half of Proverian lager.
Well, I don't drink that anymore. The Arms have just started selling a new wheat beer. It's brewed in Dr. Congo.
Where?
Dr. Congo. It's a country in Africa.
I think you mean DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oh, all right, Mr. Clever. We haven't all got a degree in geography from Milden Polytechnic.
It's a degree in history, actually, and that beer is brewed under licence on the industrial estate.
I need to catch my bus. I'll see you in the Arms at 7 o'clock.
See you later.
Bye. See ya.
Unknown to our 3 heroes, it was going to be a night to remember for the rest of their lives.
Oh, hello, Adrian. Well met. Is Martin here yet?
I don't know. I haven't been inside yet. He's probably at his favourite table with his lips around a pint of throbbing bishop.
I hope it's not a full pint. Not with his bladder and this chill. He'll be having to stop every few minutes for a pee.
Bladder the size of a peanut.
Oh, hello, Martin. Not at your usual table.
No, Mrs. Blenkinsop was sitting there when I came in. I couldn't bear listening to her. She's still going on about last year. I think she just came in to let us know that she's not joining us this time. Anyway, have you both got your fancy dress on? Come on, get your coats off.
Well, you look the part, Martin. Very Dickensian. Are you ready? Here you go.
Very good, Gail. That'll spook 'em. You look just like the sort of person who'd be mistaken for a 17th century witch. It was very brave of you to do it without makeup.
Oh, very funny. It took me ages to put all this slap on. It didn't help that the nose kept falling off.
Oh, is it a false nose then?
Get stuffed.
Your turn, Adrian. I like your face paint, by the way. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure I'll work it out.
Ta-da!
It's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? That's not very Halloween-y. Anyway, I thought you were going to be the Witchfinder General.
Well, the prices they were charging, I thought I'd do my own. And I didn't have any Witchfinder General stuff lying around at home, so I did this. The top's from an old pair of pyjamas I had knocking around, and the leggings are the one I wear for my mud run.
Yeah, I can see that. You could have washed them, Aid.
I'm a busy man. I don't have time for that sort of thing.
I would hardly class basic hygiene as that sort of thing. Anyway, why Spider-Man?
Well, like I said, I had the PJs and the leggings knocking around, and anyway, spiders are pretty spooky, aren't they? Lou did the face paint. I haven't actually seen it myself yet. She didn't have a mirror, but she was very happy with it, so I'm sure it's okay.
Yes, it's very good. She has got a talent, but...
But what?
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing.
But what, Martin?
Are you sure it's Spider-Man?
Yeah, she told me she got a picture off the internet.
It doesn't look like Spider-Man to me, Aid. Here, borrow my phone. You can use it like a mirror.
Flippin' heck. She's done Deadpool. I look ridiculous.
You're wearing a knackered old pyjama top, a pair of muddy leggings, and it's the face paint that makes you look ridiculous?
Pardon?
I think...
You two need to take up your positions. If no one turns up, I'll phone you, and we can spend the rest of the night in the pub at the company's expense. See you later, Gail. See you, Spidey, Deadpool... Oh, never mind. See you later, Adrian.
The sea threat is getting thicker and visibility is getting less and less. Our two heroes are heading towards St. Jude's, Milden's oldest and, legend has it, most haunted church.
So, why are we headed towards the church again?
Remind me what you do for a living? The church is where the Milden witches were buried exactly 400 years ago this very night, or so legend has it. I personally think it's a load of codswallop. 3 women were buried on Halloween night and someone made up a story to fit.
I thought witches were burnt at the stake, so they didn't bury the ashes then. You know, to double make sure that they never came back.
That's a common misconception. Most witches were buried. Burning was reserved for heretics.
Well, I didn't know that. Is that true?
To be honest, I don't know either. I heard it once somewhere. It's what I tell the grockles.
Ah! Crikey, did you hear that?
No, Adrian, what do you think it was? A fox, maybe?
The last time I heard anything like that was in the Alakama Desert.
Oh, great. Let's get down to the churchyard.
Yeah, because nothing says safety on a foggy Halloween night like a spooky graveyard.
You're not superstitious, are you?
Gail, I wear odd shoes and the same underpants when I compete. What do you think?
Ah, you know what I mean. Are you afraid of ghoulies and ghosties and all that?
No, of course not.
Adrian, I know that you didn't wash your leggings, but you did wash your pyjama top, didn't you?
Yeah, of course. Why do you ask?
Well, it looks a little darker than I was expecting. It must be a trick of the light. This fog is coming in rather fast.
Yeah, talking of tricks of the light, did you have that wart on the end of your nose earlier this evening?
What?
That one. Oh, never mind. Like you say, trick of the light.
As the fog continues to descend over Milden, so too does a feeling, an eerie and unsettling feeling, a dreamlike feeling. Is this the real life or just fantasy? Martin is walking down the road followed by 2 vampires, a werewolf and 3 Pennywises, an evil clown who feeds on fear, and someone with a sheet over their head.
The Dyer Arms was built in 1689 and has a long and interesting history. One of its many claims to fame is that it was the site of the Milden witch trials. Mary Blenkinsop, Alice Foulweather and Elizabeth Scratchit were all found guilty of witchcraft and were hanged in what we now call Hangman's Meadow. Mary Blenkinsop and Alice Foulweather were sisters, Alice being the widow of Tom Foulweather, a local miller who died of scrofula. Elizabeth Scratchit was a 17-year-old girl who acted as their maid and general help. When her husband died, Alice inherited the mill and the land. Rumours abounded in the village that the women had somehow managed to kill Mr. Foulweather. Most likely they were started by William Foulweather, the deceased's cousin, who would inherit the land once the women were out the way. It is said just before she died, Mary put a curse on the village. She haunts the graveyard to this very day. Now let's enter the churchyard to see if she is still there.
Is that Gail, clad all in black, the wart on her chin prominent for all to see? Is it the light Or has her skin taken on a greenish hue? And what's that in her hand? A twisty stick? I do believe it's a wand.
400 years I've waited. Now vengeance is mine. Iron mutant toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind worm's sting. Such horrors doth this night time bring.
Crikey, Gail, what have you done?
She's turned one of the vampires into a toad.
Well, apparently, yeah.
I don't like this. Adrian, what's happening to you? That dark stain is getting bigger. What's that in your mouth? Bloody hell, you're turning into venom.
This is a good time for me to interrupt. Gail appears to have transformed into a real-life spellcasting witch. Adrian, now a fictional comic book villain, is slowly approaching Martin. Martin runs. Run, Martin, run. But what's this? A white sheet starts to float upward, and underneath, where the sheet used to be, is nothing. And this nothing starts to rush towards Martin, leaving behind in its wake broken branches, upturned rubbish bins, and a putrid smell. Run, Martin, run. Martin, running as fast as he can, is knocked off of his feet by the faster moving nothing. The witch and venom that were once Gail and Adrian reach Martin. His heart is thumping quicker than a mouse's would running from a rabid cat. Martin feels like he's caught in a landslide. The witch raises her wand above her head. Venom opens his enormous jaws, and then...
Martin, wakey wakey, you must have dozed off. It's the big Halloween tour tonight. You want to be your best for that.
Blimey, I've just had the oddest dream. You were a witch, Gail. Adrian was Venom from the Spider-Man movies. Goodness knows what you're about to do to me.
Well, that's because I'm going to be dressing up as a witch for tonight's tour. You must have had it all on your mind when you dozed off. I've just had a text from Lou. She's doing AIDS face paint for him. I got a bit confused because he doesn't really need it for the Witchfinder, but she told me he couldn't get the outfit and he's going to come as Spider-Man.
Don't tell me he had an old pyjama top and a pair of old leggings knocking around.
Yeah, how do you know?
Gail, have you always had that wart on your nose?
Well, there's a simple explanation for that.
Oh, flipping heck, I'm still dreaming.
And so he is, or even there. I'm not sure what I'll do with him next, for if you haven't guessed, I am the Dream Master. I control the picture, I control the sound, and I control reality for Martin until I get bored of it. Then I'll move on. Thank you for choosing to listen to this Halloween special of You Are Here, brought to you by DruvDrama. And who knows, I may bump into you another day in your dreams.